Hello and welcome to Techstars Austin Demo Day 2022. My name is Amos Schwartzfarb and I'm the Managing Director of Techstars here in Austin. This is our 12th program in Austin since 2013 and my 7th running the program. So really excited to have you all here today. Before we get started, I want to give you a little bit about the layout of the day. The entire show will be about an hour long. What you're going to see today is after I'm done talking, there will be an introducer that will come on prior to every pitch. Then you will hear one of the pre-recorded pitches followed by a live Q&A, and then another presenter, another pitch, another live Q&A. After we've seen and heard from 12 of the founders, I'm going to come back on to say some parting words. And then for all of you that are local here in Austin, we would love for you to join us at Whistler's at 5 o'clock on the east side of Austin. So before we get into it all, there are some thank yous that I want to make sure that I call out today. The first thing is, for those of you who know or don't know, Techstars as an organization is a mentor-driven accelerator. And what that really means at its core is that we can't do this without the help and support of our mentors. So for all of the mentors that are out there watching, thank you so much. We truly, and you know this, we and the companies could not do this and deliver this kind of value without you all. Thank you. I also want to thank our 5 EIRs from this year: Trevor Bain, Autumn Manning, Kurt Rathman, Lander Garcia Coronado, and Brooke Baines. Thank you all. The companies are so grateful for your assistance. We are so grateful for your assistance. We really appreciate all of the hard work you've done. Next, I want to thank our program staff, Danny Rose and Caroline Tosbath. Many of you who have spent time with them before. They do way more than just keep the trains running on time. This entire thing happens because of them. They help in recruiting the companies. They help with working with the companies. They help with everything that happens beyond the program. And this is really at the core of what we do. Again, we could not do this without them. So thank you both very much for everything. I love working with you, and I'm so grateful that we get to do this together. And then finally, I want to thank our sponsor for today, Brex. It's been really interesting and unique getting to know them and work with them. And I'm just going to call out, like, they are, in my opinion, the first truly founder-focused way to work with a bank. And so they have this incredible founder-first platform that allows a founder to, bank without having to sign a personal guarantee. There's no cost for signing up. There's communities that they can work with locally and nationally and globally so that they can find people that have similar situations and learn from them. And you can do it all online. So thank you very much, Brex, for making both today and the after party happen. Really appreciate that. So last thing before we get to the first introducer, which is I'm going to make an ask of you, everybody viewing today. Many of you are founders. Most of you know founders, or all of you probably know founders in some way. And what you probably know is that building a company is incredibly hard. There's lots of ups, lots of downs. It is really hard. And so as you're sitting here today and you may be making a decision on whether you believe this company could be a thing or not, or whether you want to make an investment, or what you think of the way that the pitch is, my ask of everybody there is to please think about one thing you can do to help one company. So I'm going to just pause there for a second so that you can just ingrain it in your brain. What is one thing that you can do to help just one company? And with that, I'm really excited to bring out our first introducer.
Hi, my name is Lander Coronado Garcia, and I'm an entrepreneur in residence at Techstars. Over the past 3 months, I've had the chance to work with 4 amazing companies. But more importantly, I've had the chance to work with 9 amazing founders. Each one of these companies and founders is ready to completely disrupt their respective industries. When I was first asked to work with this next company, I was a bit nervous. What would I know about an all-female local buy-sell platform? But once I saw the power of the all-hers community, the value was clear, and I was hooked. Not to mention that the founder and CEO is an absolute badass who transformed a local meetup into a network with billion-dollar potential. Next up, Becca Butler from Allhers.
The secondhand furniture and fashion industry in the US will be $63.7 billion by 2025. My name is Becca Butler. My company is Allhers, and we plan to grab a big piece of it. I know what you're thinking. Isn't the market already saturated? There's Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, OfferUp, even Nextdoor. Why do we need another buy-sell platform? Because every existing local buy-sell platform is disadvantaging their primary user. Let me repeat that. Every existing local buy-sell platform is disadvantaging their primary user, women. The majority of local buy-sell users globally are women, yet 70% of them cite fear for their safety as their primary problem when using these platforms. That's 62 million women in the US alone, who will spend $29 billion annually by 2025. Women have to do so much when meeting for local buy and sell. We bring a friend or a partner as a chaperone. We meet in a public space. We send the, "If you don't hear from me in 10 minutes, I'm probably in danger" text. Men don't have to worry about these things, which is why the men who built these platforms never even considered this. So we thought, I wonder what would happen if we built a buy-sell platform, but just without men. So we tested it. Turns out the benefits went far beyond security. Imagine a site where everything is something you'd actually want. The photos are staged with good lighting. The trust is so high, everyone just Venmos ahead of time. No one lowballs ever. And zero, literally zero spam or scams. Everyone's just friendly and cool. It turns out No Boys Allowed was way better than we expected. And the brand love is through the roof. We set out to build a safety-led marketplace and discovered a viral community that's so much more. In our pilot market, Austin, we have 20,000 verified female members, 8,000 organic new visitors a month, and a core group of users who use us habitually and can't wait to tell their friends about us. Look, this is a big swing with a ton of risk. There will be only one winner in this space, and the dominant platform in 2025 will have revenue over $200 million with a $5 to $7 billion market cap. Second place will likely get nothing. You'd have to be crazy to go after an opportunity like this. The good news, we're crazy. Between the three of us, we've created and built national consumer marketplaces in 14 countries, including female-focused marketplaces in the US and abroad. We've already had a successful exit in this space of $400 million, and we've known each other forever, literally. So if you like a healthy dose of crazy, come chat with us, even if you're a man.
Becca, welcome, and great pitch. I'm really excited to talk to you today, and I have a couple of questions for you.
Thank you, absolutely.
So one of the things you say in your pitch is that the thing you're doing is hard for men to identify with because they don't have necessarily the same challenges. And I would say I fall into that camp when I use the marketplaces and I go somewhere like I don't think about it. So maybe help us all understand a little bit more about why this is so important for all women.
Absolutely. You know, we've encountered a few women who have said things like, well, I don't really worry about safety when I use these types of marketplaces. And when we ask them about their experiences, they usually say something along the lines of, well, I make my husband do it, or I bring my partner with me. Mitigating for safety is something that is so deeply ingrained in us as women that sometimes we forget we're doing it. It's like second nature. So, you know, we have to be so aware when just taking our dog out or walking to our car. And this isn't fear-mongering. This is the reality of being a woman. It just is. But one other thing has become really clear to us through all of our conversations that we've had, and that's that there's a huge recognizable value to having a group that's predominantly female. Whether it's the security aspect, the communication style, or just like the really cute stuff. The number one thing that we hear is that all Allhers users love that all hers is all women.
That's great. Cool. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So one thing I didn't hear you talk about was revenue.
Yeah.
You comfortable talking about your strategy
absolutely,
here?
Absolutely, yeah. So right now our focus is on building a viral growth engine and a product that users love. And if we can nail that, if we can bottle lightning, then we'll have a lot of opportunities for revenue. And a lot of the possible paths we've already determined through customer interviews and market knowledge, from transaction fees and local delivery to targeted ads and premium memberships. We have a lot of ideas that we're excited about, but our first goal is virality.
Cool. I love that, and I personally identify with that. Like, build a product that your users love, and revenue becomes easy.
Exactly.
So you have some great data around trust, around user experience, around no spam. That's Austin. Why do you believe those results are broader than Austin?
Similar themes can be seen in women-only communities across the world, regardless of location. And in fact, in my personal discovery of this idea, I was moving from LA to Austin and had to sell a ton of my furniture. I listed my items on Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace, and then as a test, I listed them for a higher price in this women-only private Facebook group, and it had 35,000 women all in LA. My items sold like that in the Facebook group, and it wasn't even a buy-sell group. And, no one was haggling. Everyone Venmo'd me ahead of time. I wasn't worried about these strangers coming to my home because they were all local women who were verified into this private community. So it was a completely different experience, and it wasn't a pain in the ass. It was fun.
Yeah.
And in that same span of time that I sold all of my stuff, all that I received from those other platforms were a bunch of spam messages and some super lowball offers.
Oh.
It was crazy.
That's great. That's great. Thank you.
Yeah.
And it's a kind of a good segue into my next question, which is, and you reference this in your pitch too, this is really, really hard. Local is hard. Marketplaces are hard. Like, why, and you say you're crazy, so I get it, but tell us a little bit more about that. Why do you believe you're going to be successful here?
Yeah. So my previous company, Queen for Dinner, was a curated online marketplace for independent female designers across North America. JC grew his previous company, Dubizzle, which was a online classified site, to dominance across the Middle East and exited for $400 million to Naspers OLX. Tarek, who is our head of product, he was an early employee at Dubizzle and stayed after the exit and spearheaded Shed, which was a women-only resale marketplace under the Dubizzle umbrella. We have an absurd amount of relevant experience. So if, this is a crazy endeavor, but there's no doubt in my mind that we are the best fit for the job.
Yeah, that is some incredible founder market fit. That's great. And more excited. Okay, last question.
Okay.
We've got a lot of people watching in the world right now. What's one thing that they can do to help you be more successful?
All right. Well, if you're a woman, go to forallhers.com and join Allhers. If you're not a woman, tell every woman you know, and let's make this thing a rocket ship.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thanks
again.
so much.
Yeah.
Have you ever done your own accounting? If you have, you know it sucks. Now imagine being a bookkeeper and doing that for dozens of clients without a unified way of managing the process. What a nightmare. The next founder, John Ray, is a highly successful accountant who decided to solve this problem for other accountants. His platform is Scrutinize.
Hi, my name is John Ray, CEO and founder of Scrutinize. Bookkeepers collectively waste billions of hours each year on repetitive, mundane tasks. But it's not their fault. They're inundated with data from dozens of different sources: QuickBooks, bank accounts, credit cards, proprietary systems, and they lack a central place to manage and automate their work. That's why Scrutinize is building mission control software for bookkeeping firms, a layer that sits atop their existing solutions, enabling them to automate tasks for all their clients in one place. A customer recently used our error detection feature to analyze years of a new client's data. In 20 seconds, they uncovered hundreds of issues that would have taken hours to identify manually. Using Scrutinize helps firms scale the number of clients each bookkeeper can service, increasing revenue per bookkeeper by up to 33%. Now you may be thinking, accounting software? Boring. But that's exactly why this industry is ripe for disruption. The commoditization of the accounting services market is forcing the 320,000 US bookkeeping firms to adopt technology to compete. We currently have 8 customers and 5 more accounting firms in trials. These customers handle the accounting for thousands of businesses and analyze millions of dollars of transactions every month using Scrutinize. Our team is made up of accounting nerds and experienced software engineers. I experienced these issues firsthand when I was running my own accounting firm. Our engineers have been building web applications for over 20 years, with extensive experience implementing security best practices and handling sensitive data. We are actively seeking other A players to join our team in design, engineering, and product roles. So if you want to be part of transforming the accounting industry, we'd love to connect.
John.
Amos.
Congratulations, man. It's so good to see you. Great pitch. I'm really excited about your business. I have a couple of questions for you. I think everybody wants to know out in the audience. So the first one is, and as you know, I have some experience in this general field. Why is now the right time?
Yeah, it's a great question. So there are a couple of macro trends that are happening that really make this the right time to solve this issue. So on the one hand, you have this labor shortage in the market at large, but specifically in the accounting industry. So hiring is really hard, and you really can't just continue to scale your firm by adding people. Over time, that becomes untenable because that pipeline is sort of drying up. The other factor here is that the industry, at least the accounting services part of the market, the bookkeeping services, is getting commoditized. And so that's driving this move to a fixed fee pricing model, meaning that, value incentives are aligned across the entire chain, which is great, but your margin's sort of at risk now. So you can't just throw bodies at the problem like you might used to be able to if you underscope or underprice a project. You really are forced to look for creative ways to protect that margin, and technology is just like the primary way that most firms are doing it.
Yeah, makes total sense, which is actually a great segue into my next question. Like, there's clearly a massive, huge opportunity here. So what does the competitive landscape look like?
Yep. There's 2 sort of classes of different types of software right now. One is task automation. The other is more project management, firm management. So on the task automation side, you have things like Zapier. But Zapier doesn't really speak the language of bookkeepers. It's not really built for their workflows. And there's no sort of sense of exception management. There's no human in the loop. So you set this thing up, it either works or it doesn't work. And when it breaks, you're sort of like, where did it break? Why did it break? Which client do I have to go in and fix now manually? The other side is this kind of firm management, project management software. So think Carbon, think Asana. That's really great for scheduling, and assigning out tasks to people, but doesn't allow you to automate that transactional layer, which is really where most of the low value work is happening in these bookkeeping firms. So we're sort of combining the best of both worlds and saying, how do you build a system that allows you to automate that transactional layer, assign out those tasks for any kind of exception management, and then track the status of completion and accuracy of those tasks across your entire firm?
Yeah, it sounds big and hairy, and as we know, it's already starting to work. It's great. Cool. Makes sense. All right, one more question for you.
Sure.
There's a lot of people out there watching. What's one thing that they can do to help you be more successful?
We're hiring engineering, product, design people. If you are one of these people, or badass people that like creative autonomy, want to solve really hard problems with a really cool team, reach out.
Cool. Thank you so much, and congratulations again.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey there, my name is Trevor Bain. I'm an operating partner at the venture fund and holding company Saturn V. I'm also an entrepreneur in residence at the Techstars Austin 2022 January class. The founder you're about to meet is the definition of customer-centric. She deeply understands her customers, spending massive amounts of time with them, and then building alongside them. That's why they've seen such growth in such a short period of time. It's my honor to introduce Carrie Clark, CEO of Breakout.
My name is Carrie Clark, and I'm the founder and CEO of Breakout. We make it easy for hybrid and remote companies to build strong team connections to reduce employee turnover. In our first 20 months since launch, we've done $2.3 million in revenue. In the past 60 days alone, we've landed new partnerships with Adobe, Intuit, DoorDash, and more, adding to our lineup of Fortune 500 and unicorn clients. Connecting distributed teams is a massive opportunity. 74% of all US companies have shifted to be hybrid or remote, and this $67 billion market is untapped. Think about it. When you love your company, it's always because you love the people you work with. But working remotely has disrupted these coworker connections. It's not surprising that right now, 95% of people are considering switching jobs. At Breakout, we have created over 30 productized team building events, ranging from tie-dyeing to tamale making. Our aim, to forge genuine bonds with coworkers. The winner in this space needs to build its own experiences, yet all of our competitors are marketplaces. Building all of our events in-house gives us two crucial advantages. One, we can build them to prioritize connection first. That's what companies care about. For Andrew, winning Alien Trivia was just a bonus. The real prize was his team connecting in small groups through breakout rooms and connection games. In an hour, his team became a team. Second, by building our own events, we can ship globally, which is crucial as most distributed companies or companies of any larger size have global teams. A marketplace cannot fundamentally do that. Shipping globally means that Dave, who lives in Australia, can build snow globes with his team in the US and Japan. Our events move the needle on what companies care about most. Data from one of our clients shows that employees who participate in our experiences are 30% more likely to be retained. 30%. That company saw an ROI of 20 times their spend. At Breakout, we help your team work. If you or your portfolio companies want to build strong distributed companies, we'd love to connect.
Carrie, congratulations and welcome to the room.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm really excited to talk to you a little bit now about what you're doing with Breakout. So when I think about what you're doing, arguably any company in the world could use this. So how do you go to market?
Yeah, so we're taking a land and expand approach that we're doing with the direct sales team. And what we've done is we're starting in specific use cases with companies. So internships, onboarding programs, and that allows us to be really targeted in our outreach and have a really fast sales cycle. So we're closing deals usually in a month with 2 meetings.
Oh, great.
And then from there, we expand. So 84% of our customers end up becoming repeat customers, and around 50%, over 50 actually, are expanding to other parts of the business.
Oh, great. And so with that in mind, that's great. And an interesting segue into my next question, which is so you're doing this, how do you scale it?
Well, there's 2 parts of the business. The first are hosted team building events like tie-dye and tamale making. And the second are breakout boxes, which are activity kits that teams can do on their own. The breakout boxes scale just like any e-commerce would. And there's a lot of reasons not to be afraid of having people. First, our margins are incredible. We have 75% margins with all of our hosted events. And then secondly, they're productized. So there's a script, there's a structure, and so it makes it easy for other people to pick it up when we train them.
Oh, that's great. And so with that in mind, and I'm thinking about okay, you can be globally distributed. Is remote work here to stay? I'm sure everybody has an opinion.
Well, for our take is that for us to be successful, it doesn't matter. because, we are more about connecting distributed teams, and distributed work is here to stay. Most companies in the world of any size have people around the world, and we're actually seeing, some of our customers using their products just to connect people in different offices, but still in the office.
Oh, that makes perfect sense. And I would agree. Like, whether remote work is here or not, it doesn't matter. Yeah. So, incredibly hard thing you're trying to pull off. What makes you uniquely qualified to do that?
So I've run distributed companies, first off, for over a decade, including 8 years at Google, and then run fully remote companies for the past 4. And I felt this problem firsthand because it was always culture. That was always the hardest. Secondly, my background before all of that was I was an event designer, and I really thought about how do we create and connect people over shared experiences, and it's been a passion for basically my entire life since I was a kid. And then finally, on this whole logistics side of the business, I was the product manager and led up the rollout and the invention of Google's first custom hardware product, and set up the whole global supply chain and all of the logistics to make that happen.
So truly a convergence of your entire life.
It's uncanny.
Great. So for the viewers out there, what's one thing that they can do today to help you be more successful?
We're always looking for more sales. So if you know anyone in your portfolio companies or your companies that are, companies usually around 150 people or higher who are looking to connect distributed teams, we'd love to talk.
Cool. Well, thank you so much, and congratulations again for today.
Cool. Thank you so much.
I would guess that 99% of people watching today's demo day have taken a rideshare ride in the past week. I also bet that 0% of you spent any time thinking about whether or not the tires on your driver's car were safe. While our next company spends all of their time thinking about that. Please virtually welcome Amir Hosseini of Checks AI.
My name is Amir, and I'm going to speak to you about a problem in the shared mobility industry, which is slated to grow to nearly $800 billion by 2030. This industry is facing a growth crisis where it is unable to onboard drivers fast enough to keep them compliant with inspection, laws, or verify whether vehicles used are consistently safe to operate. This is because the current process is manual, segmented, has no clear standard, costing stakeholders ridiculous sums of money and wasted time. Today, shared mobility companies and the many other stakeholders involved realize that this growth will only continue if policy-led safety requirements can be met in a sustainable, scalable, and cost-effective way. And this is why my company Checks exists today. Checks blends automation and machine vision technology to enable repetitive safety inspections, keeping riders safe and our partners in legal compliance, all through your mobile phone. We make it easy to keep vehicles safe. We make it affordable for our partners and customers, and we make the process repetitive and scalable. And because of reasons like these, we've been able to achieve great success in the last 10 months. We've completed nearly 2,000 paid vehicle inspections in our test pilot. Our monthly inspection volume has grown 24 times since our first month of completed inspections. We've already onboarded 3 enterprise partners and are continuing to build a healthy partnership pipeline. Many of them you'll recognize as household names. We've been able to collect and analyze thousands of data points for predictive purposes. For example, 1 out of every 6 of our completed vehicle inspections would not pass 90 days later due to wear and use. And reasons like these are why our partners and customers love us. We have the team, talent, and technology to scale and address a multi-billion-dollar market opportunity. So if you have a passion around repeatable and automated technologies, if you care about safety and you love problem solving at scale, we would love to hear from you. Amir, welcome. Congratulations on Demo Day, and thanks for coming in and hanging out with me for a couple minutes. We have got some questions for the viewing audience today.
Super excited to be here. Totally appreciate having me.
Yeah, awesome. So one of the things that I heard you talk about was, I heard you use the term shared mobility. And I think a lot of us, me when we first met even, think about there being only really two dominant players in rideshare. But it feels like you're saying something different. So what is shared mobility?
Yeah, so we're definitely saying something different. Shared mobility encompasses the whole ability to get around without using your own vehicle. When we think about shared mobility, or we speak about shared mobility, what we're really saying is it's cars like an Uber or Lyft, for instance, but it's also peer-to-peer where you're renting your vehicles out. It's also, electric scooters, bicycles, any which way that gets you from point A to point B. That's not necessarily using your own car.
Like RVs.
RVs, it would definitely be RVs as well, which people are really loving these days.
I get a huge market.
Yeah,
totally get it. So tell me a little bit about why you started Chex.
Yeah, so we started Chex to solve a problem in the rideshare space specifically. And this had to do with the inspection portion of the onboarding requirement. In this space, there are two requirements. One has to do with the background check. The other has to do with the vehicle safety inspection check. And what we wanted to originally do was be able to get these vehicle inspection checks out in an asynchronous format, which would no longer require the drivers or the owners of these vehicles to have to go out to a mechanic shop and spend, 3-4 hours of their day just to get this piece done.
Yeah, sure. It's time that they could be driving.
Yeah, it's time that they could be driving, and it's unnecessary.
Yeah, great. That makes a lot of sense, and it seems like modern technology, we should be able to do that. So one of the things that I also heard you talk about was compliance versus safety.
Right.
Yeah, can you expand a little bit about that for everybody?
Yeah, so I think compliance versus safety, and it's not so much a verse anymore, it's how they come hand in hand. Originally, what we wanted to do is, again, our product was built to solve a compliance requirement, meaning there are laws that require a step like an inspection to occur. And inherently what you're looking to do is provide a safety component for the users or the riders that are actually in those vehicles. And what we were inherently surprised to find out was how important safety was or is to a lot of these shared mobility companies. So much so that the inbound interest in what we're doing has just been amazing.
Yeah. And why do you think that is? Like, why are they not doing it themselves versus coming to Chex?
I think it's a matter of focus, right? Here in our space, we're focused on something very segmented and very special. And at the end of the day, what I would like to think is, we're all good at what we're good at. Mm-hmm. And so just staying focused in our lane actually helps us accomplish things I would say, at greater success.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Cool. So one last question for you, for everybody viewing today. If there's one thing that someone watching today can do to help you be more successful, what would that be?
That's a big ask. But if I was to make this ask, what I would like to do is, anyone who's in the space, who has interest in the space meaning shared mobility, we'd love to hear from you. We'd love, to get in touch and, just see how we could best help you.
Cool. Great. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Brooke Baines. I'm honored to have been an entrepreneur in residence for this year's Techstars Austin cohort. I've had the privilege of working closely with 4 incredible companies and 5 visionary founders who are poised to transform their industries with their vision, passion, and skill. I'm excited to be an advocate for them and cannot wait to see what they do next. Working with this founding team has been an absolute pleasure. Their dedication to the process and the traction they've made since starting the program is awe-inspiring. I'm not surprised that's the case, though, because this founder is tenacious in the face of adversity and finds ways to succeed even when she's been told to wait just one more year. What I love about her is that she knew it was her time and would not take no for an answer. It's an honor to welcome Sierra Peña, co-founder and CEO of Shelflife, headquartered right here in Austin, Texas.
The U.S. is experiencing a micro-business renaissance, and here's what it looks like in action. 5.1 million new micro-businesses were created in the U.S. in 2020 alone. Some call micro businesses a side hustle. We like to call them independent brands because 92% of all businesses in the US are micro businesses. Hi, my name is Sierra Peña, co-founder and CEO of Shelflife. For the past 2 years, I've hosted outdoor markets and have worked with over 1,000 independent brands. Studies show 82% of consumers are willing to pay more to support local brands, but are having a hard time consistently finding them. Retailers struggle to put the right goods on their shelves, and their overhead costs are constantly increasing. Independent brands predominantly sell their goods at outdoor markets, but struggle to find other ways to reach a broader audience. There's a new and profitable way to do business as an independent brand and a retailer, a solution that makes shopping local more convenient for everyone. Meet Shelflife. We connect local independent brands to retailers through our shelf rental platform. Here's how it works. Independent brands could explore open retail shelf space in their area. They have the option to apply for a short-term loan, which could be used toward their shelf rentals and expanding their reach. Retailers can either accept, decline, or invite independent brands into their store. They get full control of which independent brands they work with, and everyone earns extra revenue each month. Buying retail shelf spaces with all the big companies do. Shelflife is bringing it to the micros. We have a wait list of over 900 independent brands and are currently piloting Shelflife in order to create the most customer-centric product. We know with the right partners, Shelflife will disrupt the way retail is done today. Whether you're an independent brand or a retailer, join our fleet and be a part of the evolution of the shop local movement.
Sierra, welcome. Congratulations on Demo Day. Big day, really exciting. Yeah, cool. So I have a couple of questions for you for everybody that's viewing in the audience.
Yeah, shoot.
So, feels to me like you're going after something pretty big. So, can you tell us what is your big vision for Shelflife?
Yeah, great question. So we aren't just going to stop at brick and mortar. There's nothing stopping us from taking Shelflife into the digital world. And leveraging the data points we collect from consumers to create a hyper local and personalized shopping experience, both online and offline.
That's great. So that's a great segue into something else that I really think that everybody's curious about that I want to know more about. So how does it actually work? If I'm an independent brand, if I'm a local shop, how does it actually work?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so independent brands have the ability to sign up as either a freemium or a premium customer. We do charge a premium subscription fee. They also have the option to apply for a short-term loan, which could be used toward their shelf rentals if they plan on expanding into more than one retail store at a time. And we take a small percent of interest from that. And then lastly, we do take a percentage of bookings from each shelf rental.
Oh, great. And I see you use the word we a lot. Of course, I want to know. Tell us a little bit about your team. Who's this we?
Yes. So my co-founder and I, Colette, have known each other for the last 6 years and have worked together on a number of different projects throughout that time period. Also, the other cool thing about our team is we're all micro business owners. So we really understand the problem we're solving on a really intimate level and hope to create for the most customer-centric product.
Awesome. One last question for you, for all the viewers out there. What is one thing that they can do to help you be more successful?
So you need to understand that the local business community is really tightly knit. So the best thing you can do is just go to your favorite retailer or talk to your independent brand and let them know about Shelflife.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thanks.
The founder you're about to meet is one of the most metrics-driven I've met. He understands the numbers that matter in his business, and he figures out how to move them. He's also has deep industry expertise, and he's identified a strong and defensible niche that allows him to target and find his customers right at the moment that they need him the most. It's my honor to introduce Josh Sneed, CEO of Rainwalk.
Hello, my name is Joshua Sneed, and I am the CEO and co-founder of Rainwalk. We're a pet health insurance company digitally embedded at adoption shelters and rescues. Adopting a pet is a big decision. It can be a 10 to 15-year commitment, and these pets will very quickly become our very best friends, and we want to make sure that they live long, happy, healthy lives. Over 11 million pets are adopted into American households every single year, and 7 million of those pets come from adoption shelters and rescues. We spend $36 billion a year on emergency medical procedures for our pets, and that doesn't even include the 30% of pet owners who simply cannot afford medical care for their pets. Even with this pet medical crisis, only 2% of pets are insured in the US today. When you compare that to Europe, it's 30%. There are a few things holding back market penetration here in the US. First, awareness is really low. Second, purchasing pet insurance is considered a tedious and time-consuming experience. And third, people just don't know what brands to trust. With one click, right at point of adoption, Rainwalk addresses all of these issues. We use our technology to enable our partners, like shelters, to be able to sign you up instantly, right at point of adoption. We can address the awareness issue by presenting educational content and information, even if you don't know pet insurance exists. We provide maximum convenience because we don't require even a single data point to be entered by the customer. And we address the trust issue by being the trusted pet health insurance brand of the shelter and the rescue. Over 70% of pet parents adopting through our shelters opt in for a pet health insurance quote without being prompted at all. 70%. There is awesome demand for this product, and we have found a way to very quickly and conveniently get purchasing ability into the hands of these pet parents. At Rainwalk, we are on a mission to get every pet the healthcare that they need. If you would like to join us on that mission and join our team, please go to rainwalkpetinsurance.com or reach out to me directly. Thank you.
Josh, congratulations on Demo Day. Great to see you.
Thank
so
you.
excited for the future.
Yeah.
So I have a couple of questions for you. One of the things that you said was in Europe, 30% of pet owners have pet insurance, but here in the US, only 2%. Tell me a little bit more about that, like why and why do you believe there's an opportunity here?
Yeah, of course. So there are three main reasons that we see such a big difference in market penetration. The first is the regulation. So regulation here in the United States is a lot more complicated than it is in a lot of the markets in Europe. What that means is it takes a longer amount of time for products to make their way into the market. Luckily, Rainwalk has spent the last 18 months getting all that figured out, and it's no longer a barrier for us, but it is a barrier for future potential competitors.
Good. That's actually a great segue into my next question. I cut you off, didn't I? Keep going.
So the second component is urbanization. So Europe urbanized a lot sooner than the US, and we see really strong correlation between adoption of pet insurance and the urbanization in a society as it breaks away from its agrarian roots. And the US has caught up dramatically in that front in the last decade. And then the third one is millennial purchasing habits. So millennials are actually the largest adopters of pets. We spend the most on our pets, and we're big adopters of pet insurance as well. So as millennials grow up, become proper buyers and members of the economy, they're actually driving a lot of that growth and change in buying behavior.
Cool. That makes sense. Yeah. Sorry to cut you off. So one of the things that you talked about too is being embedded at the point of sale or the point of adoption.
Yep.
So tell us more about that and why can't your competitors do that?
Yeah. So two main reasons for this. There's a lot of channel conflict with our competitors whenever they're trying to juggle these channel partnerships with their direct-to-consumer digital branded activities. They often struggle to justify paying a meaningful commission to a partner when they have such heavily loaded branding and marketing campaign expenses. And so those those organizations, those business development activities within their organization often get sidelined and pushed out. And then the second barrier is technology. Mm-hmm. So B2B enterprise tech is not something that a direct-to-consumer pet insurance brand is really got an expertise in. And in order to copy that technology, it's a significant amount of investment. Only 2 other pet insurers in the U.S. market today have chosen to make that investment. They've invested millions and they still haven't figured it out. But Rainwalk, being super laser focused on that, we've been able to show up and very quickly win head to head against some pretty big pet insurance carriers to win some partnerships.
That's great. So we're talking a lot about shelters, and it's clearly a really great place to start. How big is the opportunity outside of shelters?
Yeah. So shelters do adopt out about 7 million pets a year, but there are over 100 million pets out there right now that have already been adopted. You know, they've already come through a shelter or a breeder. And so those pets, every single day, they go to pet retailers, both online and in person. They go to doggy daycares. They go to boarding homes for dogs. They go to all of these different locations, and we can use the same technology infrastructure and the same integration tech that we built to be able to reach out and provide an equally convenient, very high trust, high convenience purchasing experience with all of those different partners. And that unlocks 100 million pets that shelters can
Makes
reach.
sense, and wow, that's amazing. All right, last question for you.
Yep.
Got a lot of people watching out there in the world. What's one thing that someone watching can do to help you be successful?
Yeah. So we're always hiring good people. We've got a huge opportunity ahead of us. If you want to join us on our mission to help get every pet the healthcare they need, then please go to our website, rainwalkpetinsurance.com, and throw in your interest there on our careers page. We have such a big opportunity here, and we've got a lot of roles that we're looking to fill. So that's the one thing.
Awesome. Josh, thank you so much, and congratulations again.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
If you work in early stage companies, once in maybe 1,000 founders, you meet one that sees something that nobody else does. They're so compelled by a vision that's driving them, a unique point of view on the market they're in, that they won't stop at anything until the world that they see is the one that we all experience. The person you're about to meet is one of those founders. It's my honor to introduce Mariana Montin, CEO of Cineva.
What's up, everyone? Video games are built by creative people. Iconic titles like Mario or Zelda are the product of masterminds that were not engineers, they were creatives. 30 million people attempt to publish video games daily, but 99.9% fail. It's the $200 billion gaming industry, an industry designed for hardcore game developers to succeed. I know that because I'm a game developer now. I'm also an artist. My name is Mariana Montin, and I'm the CEO of Cineva. My company has built a platform that turns millions of creatives into game developers. When I started building games, I saw a fundamental gap. I had to master 50 plus SDKs to handle animation, character design, scripting, and it was too much. That's why my mission is to scale a business that unlocks game creation to the world. And we made it ridiculously easy to start. Select a template, characters that you like, missions and levels, and you are live. You play testing your game in your browser. You can share it with your friends, with publishing houses. But that's not even all. What is fundamentally different about Cineva is that we have nailed mechanics that bring characters to life without one line of code. Our first users is someone like Lucy. Lucy is a graphic designer. She loves to draw, and she dreams about building a game based on the richest man in Babylon. She wants to sell it to Fidelity. For Lucy, she has an MVP in minutes and a platform that can scale to millions. We have studied the market. The gaming industry is the largest in entertainment. And what do we have? We have development tools for professionals on one side, like Unity, and then we have design tools such as Canva on another side. Cineva is standing in the middle, bridging the gap. Even a small adoption of our platform will generate millions in revenues. And how we make money? It's simple. It's transaction fees, impulsive buys, monthly services and subscriptions, as well as cloud services. Our team has done that before, has brought massive technologies to underserved communities, and has years of experience in deep tech, automation, and artificial intelligence. We also have prior exits. We have paid pilots, thousands of adopters, and an entire creative community behind us. So what are you waiting for? No matter what you want to create, a narrative story, a puzzle platformer, please find Cineva.com, join Cineva Games Discord, and let's put creativity back into game development.
Mariana, welcome. Congratulations on Demo Day. I loved your pitch. Really excited for you to be here. I have some questions for you for the viewing audience. So my first question, and I'm hoping that this can relate to many people out there, how does someone like me use Cineva?
So because of the no-code aspect, we bring together a lot of creatives from different walks of life. So knowing your passion for music and music having such a big impact in gaming, Cineva will guide you to create an experience, a story that enhances emotion and bringing together music and art. The music hopefully will activate color, will shape form, and move more people.
That's amazing. I'm so excited to dig in. So this is hard. What you guys are doing, it's like, I remember when we first met, my thought was, this is a big idea. This is going to be really hard to do. And I remember thinking, why is this the team? I know now why this is the team. Can you tell everybody why this is the team that is uniquely qualified to pull this off?
Yes, it's highly technical, but luckily, me and Oleg, we're both technical and creatives. Prior to video games, I was building and scaling communities, taking it from 0 to millions. I brought massive technologies to underserved communities, and such as portable internet and 4G, 5G. With Cineva, we're doing the same. We're bridging the gap. My co-founder, Oleg, he has years of experience in software and game development, led significant skilled professionals, and secured multi-million-dollar revenues for the companies he worked for. So yeah, with Cineva, we're bringing the same technology to the world that inspires ordinary to become extraordinary.
That's amazing, and I love that you used the word world, because my next question to you was literally going to be, how do you plan to change the world?
That's amazing. 30 million of people out there attempt and are driven by their dreams to express themselves through games and storytelling. A few of them succeed. Imagine a world where all the stories are being told.
That's pretty amazing. Cool. I have one more question for you, for the viewing audience, for everybody that's out there. What is one thing they can do to help you be more successful?
Join Cineva Games on Discord, Cineva.com, and follow us, join the mission, and together we'll be more successful.
Great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. This was fun.
I've spent a lot of time in and around the real estate industry, so I know that the traditional agency model is ripe for change. This founder and his team already built and exited previous startups, and they are now ready to take on traditional brokerages. I'd like to introduce Jose Rodriguez, founder of Relive.
Hi, my name is Jose, co-founder and CEO of Relive. Real estate agents have always been entrepreneurs. They just love the freedom of working for themselves and making their own money. The problem is, the average agent struggles to scale past $30,000 per year, meaning most can't do it full-time. And in the past few years, although many tools were created, most didn't solve agents' biggest problem: time management. And 75% of agents' time is still spent on back office work, such as following up with their lawyer and bookkeeper, coordinating MLS listings, transaction paperwork, or managing their social media presence. And although necessary, none of these tasks lead directly to what makes them money: prospecting and sales. But the good news is, it's the perfect time for a change. Nowadays, 24% of all agents are millennials, and that's double from 10 years ago. There is a fast-growing generation used to leveraging tech to make their lives easier, and Relief is specifically built for them. We manage all of the back-office work for our agents, allowing them to focus on what really matters: selling more. And the market opportunity is just huge, with more than 3 million agents in the US. And Relief allows all of them to reach their full potential. But don't take it from us. Learn from our entrepreneurs' life-changing stories. At a traditional broker, Annabella had revenues of $20,000. But in under 1 year after joining Relief, her business grew to $80,000. And now, Annabelle isn't just an agent. She's a professional business and growing exponentially. In our first year, we onboarded over 100 agents and generated $280,000 in revenue. And now, we're on track to reach 1 million by the end of the year. Our team is uniquely prepared to capture the opportunity, as we were real estate agents and brokerage owners. To be successful in this industry, you need a partner that works for you, not a broker that you work for. So if you're an agent looking to scale your business, Relief is here to help. Let's talk.
Jose, congratulations, and thanks for coming and talking to me for a few minutes. Great pitch, great job at Demo Day. So I have a couple questions for you. First, why don't you help me and the viewers understand, how does your business actually work?
Yep. We're a real estate brokerage, so basically we focus on being cloud, 100% cloud, and we focus on software as a service. We basically charge a monthly subscription depending on the level of service agents require, plus a commission on every transaction.
Great, excellent. So I know you launched in Portugal, and you've had a lot of early success in Portugal, and now you're here in the US.
Yep.
So why in the US? What makes you believe that you're going to be successful here as well?
I think, first of all, our mission is universal. We're here to empower solo entrepreneurs to become professional businesses. And I think everyone wants to grow. So the US has 2 million agents, and we already have sales here, so we're moving quickly.
Awesome. So tell me, help us all understand, how are you different from a traditional broker?
Yeah, I think in the 70s you had Remax, Keller Williams, and now you have other models such as EXP that have been growing a lot and are mostly cloud-based, but still we think they don't focus on the most important part, which is the real estate agent. For us, the center is the agent. The brand is not Remax, it's the real estate agent brand. So we empower them to be their own business, to work for themselves.
That makes a lot of sense. That's great. So one last question for you. We've got a viewing audience here. Tell us all, what's one thing they can all do to help you be successful?
Let's do it. If you're a real estate agent, or if you know any real estate agent, just reach out to us. We might have a great future together.
Great. Thank you, Jose. Thank you, everybody. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
I've loved getting to know this founder throughout Techstars. He's a big thinker and wants to nail every detail. I'm sure this is one reason why he decided to escape the legal profession and apply his vision and skill to turn the most frustrating, routine legal work into a no-brainer. This founder is sitting on an enormous opportunity that will change the way deals get done, and I cannot wait to see them soar. It's my pleasure to introduce to you James Weir, the founder and CEO of NDAOK, headquartered in Austin, Texas.
When it comes to non-disclosure agreements, lawyers deserve their bad reputation. Processing NDAs costs companies over $5 billion each year, and dealing with them takes time and resources away from your core business. Think about the last time you wanted to make a sale, work with a new partner, explore a new venture, or hire for an important position. I bet an NDA got in the way and caused needless delay and unnecessary cost. Hi, my name is James Weir. I'm the founder and CEO of NDAOK. Each year, companies sign over 10 million NDAs. On average, it takes 2 days to review, revise, negotiate, and execute each one. That's over 480 million hours wasted on a simple, standardized agreement. That's insane. NDAOK changes all of that. Our automated solution thoroughly and accurately reviews NDAs in seconds, not days. Here's how it works. Our proprietary technology instantly reviews documents based on your unique requirements and preferences. It automatically generates high-quality edits, and you can seamlessly execute and monitor agreements right in the app. In fact, with NDAOK, you never need to look at an NDA ever again. It simply handles everything for you. Our technology is already transforming the way companies process their NDAs. For example, our solution is eliminating the pain and hassle of NDAs for our customers in the deal community, investment banks, private equity firms, and the lawyers that serve them. They handle millions of NDAs each year, and before NDAOK, there was simply no way around it. But with NDAOK's fast and reliable solution, our customers no longer worry about costly delays and wasted resources. Instead, we've given them back that time so they can focus on more valuable work, like closing deals. The results speak for themselves. In the last 3 months alone, we've doubled our active users and tripled our average weekly review volume. And customers are so excited about NDAOK that our growth has primarily come through word of mouth. So, if NDAs create friction anywhere in your organization, let NDAOK fix it once and for all, so your team can focus on the things that matter most to your business. Learn more today at NDAOK.com.
James, welcome. Congratulations on Demo Day. It's really great to have you here.
Thank you.
Cool. I have a couple questions for you that I think everybody wants to know. So you talk a bit in your pitch about how big of a problem this is. So if it's such a big problem, like, why hasn't it been solved before?
It is a big problem, and people have tried. Lots of people have tried. NDAOK, though, is the first to combine technology with the familiar workflows that companies and lawyers have been following for decades. Attorney-based products have, been out there for a while. That, solves some of the cost problem, but it doesn't address the delay and the speed issue. And then you have technology-based solutions that try to throw away the basic working patterns that companies have been following for years and replace it with universal standards or form builders. That doesn't really work because companies already have their NDA. It's a matter of getting an NDA from somebody else and now having to review it. So we accept that that's where people are and that's what the problem is. And we're the first company to address the problem that way.
Interesting, and it's, I think, a great segue into my next question, which is like, how does the technology actually work?
Yeah, again, I think that's a great question. NDAs are ripe for this sort of solution because there's a finite universe of the terms that you would ever see in an NDA. There are probably 30 to 40 different terms, and even within those terms, there are only a handful of ways they're ever expressed. So if we can give our users the ability to select the terms and provisions that they must have or the ones that they won't accept at all, then it's a matter of just identifying the terms in a particular agreement and matching them to their preferences.
Right. So with that in mind, I imagine that NDAs are not likely the only type of agreement that can be serviced in this way. Can you talk a little bit about that? That you have other plans for the future?
Sure. Yeah. NDAOK is really our proof of concept that this sort of solution and using this technology can be used to address routine, standardized agreements. So we'll be building later this year. We'll start building similar solutions for other high volume routine contracts.
Oh, very cool. Cool. So one last question for you, for everybody watching. What is one thing our viewers can do to help you be more successful?
Tell your friends. We want to get NDAOK into the hands of as many users as possible. This is a problem that a lot of people have, and we want to fix it for them.
Very cool. Well, thank you so much, and congratulations again.
Thank you.
I was so excited when Amos paired me with this founder because I could not wait to learn about a space where I currently function like a 4-year-old. That's to say, I have no idea how to play the game this founder not only knows how to play, but knows how to win. As a result, I got to learn from the best in this emerging space. And I know that he has the vision and the technical chops to invite all of us to join him as he turns the Wild West into a trusted technology that drives deep brand engagement and customer loyalty in revolutionary ways. I am thrilled to welcome Michael Johnstone, the founder and CEO of Smeisty, headquartered right here in Austin, Texas.
What's an NFT? My name is Michael Johnstone, and I'm asked this question every day. The answer is complicated, but you don't have to understand the technology to appreciate the value. NFT adoption is growing rapidly. In January, NFT market cap hit $10 billion and shows no signs of slowing down. Big brands are getting involved too. In December, Adidas sold $22 million worth of NFTs in just a few hours. At the same time, they instantly created a 20,000 member community of their customers. It's not just collectibles either. NFTs are being used for event tickets, retail discounts, and things like omni-channel ID and digital authenticity are right around the corner. See, NFTs are different. Traditional marketing is outside in. You target potential customers based on their search habits or the articles that they read. But the NFTs are inside out. By launching NFTs in your company, you can connect with every customer who owns one of your products. Or you can reach out to new communities who share the same values as your company. Even if you never launch an NFT campaign yourself, you're going to want to engage with the communities that are being formed. Unfortunately, technology has not kept pace. Today, it requires multiple engineers and half a dozen software tools to launch an NFT. And that just gets you started. It doesn't help you deliver the long-term value. That's why I founded Smeisty. Smeisty is a single platform that supports companies at every stage of their NFT journey, from strategy and launch to sustained management of their brands and customer communities. Our platform makes it easy for companies and consumers to focus on the value of NFTs. We provide the infrastructure and the guidance companies need to leverage this new technology. Through our platform, you can manage NFT assets, create and manage multiple collections, connect with existing business infrastructure, and engage with your community and track results. We make the future of NFTs possible for business. Regardless of where you are in your NFT journey, whether you're just asking the question, what's an NFT, or you're ready to launch a campaign, we're here to help. Visit us at Smeisty.com to learn more.
Michael, welcome. Congratulations on Demo Day. Good to have you here. So you're building something in the NFT space. So why are you the right person to build something in the NFT space?
Actually, I feel like I've been training my whole life for this. I spent the early part of my career building technology solutions at scale for companies. I did that for Mark Cuban. I did it for Google. I think I'm perfect for this space because we have a very complex set of business process needs. We have a large scale problem, and we need someone who can translate the business needs to those technologies and really deliver something that really connects with both the business and the consumer.
Yeah, that makes sense. And so it's a good segue into like something else that I'm curious about. Like what got you passionate about this?
Well, I've known about the technology for a few years, but really just got into it last year. I mean, I think like a lot of people started kind of connecting with other people in the community, instantly saw like a lot of frustrations just as an NFT owner. And with my background, I started seeing solutions, that we needed everywhere and connecting dots. As I shifted to looking at the business landscape for NFTs, I realized we couldn't connect dots for consumers without also doing that for the companies that are trying to connect with them. And it looked like a problem that I both was excited to solve for just personally and something that was right on my skill set. So I thought, I really wanted to jump in and go for it.
Yeah, good. And again, a perfect segue into my next question, which is, the concept of NFTs are a new thing. Well, what do you think the future is of NFTs? Like for everybody out there, some people probably have an opinion. Some people out there maybe are not sure yet. Like, what do you think the future is?
I've met a lot of people with opinions, that's for sure. The future of NFTs is bright. I think a lot of times we get caught up on individual use cases, collectibles, tickets, omni-channel ID. They're all different ways you can use the technology. NFTs are just a technology. One use case may not pan out, but others will. Even if you don't like collectibles, lots of people do and buy those. But the tickets, the other ways that you can engage, they're going to be very powerful, and we'll see some evolution over the next few years, but the technology is here to stay.
Awesome. Cool. And for the viewing audience, my last question to you is, what is one thing that they can do to help you be more successful?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that. I'd love to be connected with brands that are interested in adopting NFTs. I'd love to help with the strategy and also talk about how we can incorporate that in their business on the technology side too.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you. Congratulations on Demo Day, and really loved working with you.
Yeah, thank you.
The passion this founder has is palpable, and it's been a pleasure to work with him throughout the program. He's a self-described massive nerd, which is why we hit it off immediately. He's been creating new ways to solve old problems with technology since he was a teenager, and I love what he and his team have created. It's a technology that will make each of our digital lives better, and certainly much faster. I'm pleased to introduce Roberto Inetti, the founder and CEO of Robo-Amp, headquartered in Austin, Texas.
Hello, my name is Roberto Inetti, and I'm the founder of Robo-Amp. The mobile web is broken. Have you ever visited a website and the page took forever to load and you just left? You're not alone. According to Google, more than 50% of people will abandon a website if it takes longer than 3 seconds to load. What is truly mind-blowing is that there are 1 trillion of active websites, and 70% of these takes longer than 3 seconds to load. 2/3 of the whole web are losing half of the potential customers even before the page loads. Think about that for 3 seconds. I almost lost you there, didn't I? It's a lifetime. Billions of dollars are left on the table because people like you and me are bouncing instead of buying. Amazon released a study where it shows that for each 100 milliseconds, they were losing 1% of revenue. Robo-Amp will change all of it, and this is how. We have developed a platform that allows us to automatically and flawlessly rewrite HTML code into a different programming language that looks and feels like HTML, but it's not. It's so lightweight, we call it HTML fat-free. In average, all our customers have seen an increase in web performance of up to 80%. We have a partnership with Accenture and just recently signed a deal with one of the largest hotel chains. We are one of the very first companies in the world to provide web performance as a service. We are looking for exceptional partners to help us change how billions of people use the mobile web. We are Robo-Amp, and we make the web faster.
Roberto, welcome. Great pitch. Congratulations on Demo Day. Thanks for coming here today.
Oh, man. Thank you so much for everything. I love the program, and this has been transformational for us. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for saying that. I have a couple of questions that I think the viewing audience wants to probably know as well. So if you're okay, I'm going to ask you some questions.
Very good.
So, like, we all use websites every day, right?
Mm-hmm.
Web performance seems like such an obvious problem to fix. Like, why aren't more companies going after this problem?
It's an excellent question. I think there are a couple of reasons. First, most companies, they know that they have a problem with performance. But what happens is most engineers are mostly trained to create stuff. Web performance in itself is a sub-niche within engineering. So that makes that finding people who knows how to fix this type of problem is very difficult first. It's expensive and time-consuming. So sometimes companies, even when they know they have a problem, they don't know sometimes how to fix it. Our dream scenario and what's happening is because Robo-Amp is so easy to integrate, we automatically become part of their tech stack with just one line of code.
So I have to ask you about that, right? Like, I think about one line of code, and I'm like, it can't be that easy. So tell us all a little bit more about what one line of code means.
Yeah, so that line of code is like, you put one line of code, but we had to write tens of thousands. We have written that in the 3 years that we founded the company. That line of code is like, you can imagine like Google Analytics. It's just one line of code that belongs to you. No one is going to steal it because it's attached to your domain. But it truly is that simple. It's one line of code that you literally copy and paste. No code is needed. You don't have to program the front end or the back end or mess with your server.
So you've done all the hard work so that you can make it easy.
100%. We are very, customer oriented. We spend a lot of time and tears and blood trying to make our system as easy as to implement as possible.
Yeah, that's great. And I know, spending time with you, I know how passionate you are about this. So why don't you share with everybody, like, what's your long-term vision for Robo-Amp? Where do you see yourself in the future?
Oh man, it's such a good question. I started Robo-Amp for two main reasons. First is because I have a deep love for the web. I think that the web is amazing. The second reason is because it's a massive business opportunity. We're talking about global scale here. I think that our goal is to become the standard for web performance. You can imagine anyone installing or create a new Shopify website and instantly go and install Robo-Amp's plugin, which, by the way, we do have a plugin for Shopify. Or they try to create a new WordPress website, and they go and install Robo-Amp's, plugin for WordPress, which we also have. So as we keep, being integrated and customer focused, and we become part of the tech stack, there are also a lot of other tools and adjacent markets that we can tackle, that all of them depends on how well HTML is interpreted. And that just happened to be one of our competitive advantage. The fact that we can create these beautiful and super fast websites is because of this engine, which is our kind of core technology. But we can repurpose this for many other tools that we already have our eyes on.
That's great. Cool. So one last question for you. Everybody watching, what's one thing that somebody watching can do to help you be more successful?
We want to create an amazing company, and I don't think that you can create a company if you don't have amazing people all around you. Robo-Amp is a technology that can be used by any website on the internet. Right now, we are laser focused on B2C type of companies or hosting companies. So if you have connections with, Shopify or Webflow or any of these other companies, please reach out because I would love to connect with you.
Great. Thank you so much, and congratulations again.
Thank you so much, Amos.
The founder you're about to meet, I've known for years. Over that period, I've seen her determination, her unique understanding of the market, and her ability to win over great people and big customers unlock huge opportunity. Those are just a few of the reasons they've seen astronomical growth. It's my honor to introduce Janice Omedeki, CEO of the Mentor Method.
I had an outstanding corporate career thanks to phenomenal mentors that showed me the type of leader I could be. 10 years ago, at the age of 24, I became the youngest manager in the history of PwC's marketing and sales division. My name is Janice Omedeki, and I'm CEO and founder of the Mentor Method. Like me, a lot of people need corporate mentorship to help them evolve in their careers. In fact, 22 million people quit their jobs last year, and 50% of those people cited a lack of corporate mentorship as the reason for leaving. The great news is that 70% of enterprises implement mentorship programs. The problem is that oftentimes they're inefficient. They're using antiquated spreadsheets and LinkedIn profiles to make these matches. That process takes way too long, it's not data-driven, and mentees and mentors don't get the support they need to be successful. This is why every enterprise needs the Mentor Method. Our software empowers them to build best-in-class and inclusive mentorship programs without sacrificing measurable value for their employees. Companies like Amazon, the Department of Education, and Silicon Labs are matching thousands of people into meaningful mentor relationships and guiding them through weekly touchpoints, all in our platform. Companies can expect to reduce churn by 5% and generate over $100 million in retention costs annually, and that goes straight to the bottom line. Our platform matches based on personality, values, growth goals, and alignment to the company's culture. We provide guidance and training so that even first-time mentors can be successful. All the while, implementation managers get data and reporting to show engagement metrics, successes of the matches, and successes of the programs overall. Now, we've been busy. Over the last 6 months, we generated over $500,000 in revenue with some of the biggest companies in the world. That's including Amazon, the Department of Education, Slalom, Lincoln Financial Group, and Silicon Labs. Over the next 18 months, we plan on going deeper into those relationships and acquiring more customers to generate over $5 million in recurring revenue by 2023. We're just getting started. So if you're excited about the future of work, ESG compliance, and enterprise SaaS, we would love to connect with you after the pitch. Thank you.
Janice, welcome. Congratulations on Demo Day.
Thank you.
So awesome, so exciting. So, the Mentor Method. Obviously, at Techstars, we believe in mentorship.
Yes.
So can you tell me a little bit about your core customer? Because like you, I believe that everybody needs a mentor. But tell me a little bit about tell us all a little bit about who you believe your core customer is.
Absolutely. So we sell into enterprises, meaning
companies with 1,000 employees or greater. They may or may not have gone public yet, but they're continuing to scale. So our customers range from Silicon Labs with about 1,400 employees to Amazon with several 100,000, and we're equipped to support both. I think the big piece is that we sell early into diversity, equity, and inclusion teams, and those responsible for ESG compliance because they see the greatest need. And then after that, HR teams, department leaders see the metrics, see the increase in retention, and they want that too on a larger scale.
Oh, awesome. Great. That's helpful for everybody out there. So how does it work? Like, okay, so I want to be a customer. Like, how does the mentor method actually work?
Okay. So the way that it works, companies purchase a license based on the number of employees that they want to use our system. They can create as many programs as they like within that. From there, they can customize their programs based on goals of the program, success criteria, timelines, and then they invite their employees to participate. Employees get an email, they register, they take a proprietary 22-question personality assessment that we developed in partnership with Gallup. They indicate their skills and industries of experience or wanting mentorship in. They can then see their top 3 matches in the system, pick the best match for them, use our guided monthly checklist to know what to do every step of the way. And then from there, at the end of every month, they do an open assessment on their match, the program, and their alignment to the company culture.
That's awesome. And I'm hearing you allude to a bunch of things that are metrics related, and in your response in the first question, I also heard you talk about reducing employee turnover. So I'm curious, like, how do you talk about, or do you even, how do you talk about the impact on your customers' business with them using the mentor method?
Yeah, so this is my favorite thing. I love geeking out on retention metrics. So let's say you're one of our customers. They're a management consulting company, $2 billion business. They have about 50,000 employees, and their average salary is $81,000. On average, it takes between 50 to 400% of an employee's salary to replace them. So if you look at running those numbers, if you're losing maybe 7% of your employees compared to 12% with a structured mentorship program, they're saving on average $117 million on the low end.
Holy moly.
Annually for every employee that's retained through a structured mentorship program like the mentor method.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So not just that you're having an emotional impact on the employees, there's actually real bottom line dollars. That's amazing.
Exactly. We built the mentor method to be sustainable for companies to keep their best asset, their talent, but also, the underlying piece is to make sure that everybody can see their untapped potential realized and have that connection to the company culture so that everybody, including their boards, are successful.
Awesome. Cool. I have one more question for you, for our viewers out there. What is one thing that they can do to help you be more successful?
Listen, sales is key, okay? So if you know a company with 1,000 employees or greater in the enterprise space, we are industry agnostic and we built it that way. If you know that they want a better company culture, if you know that they want to retain their talent or maintain their ESG compliance metrics, we would love to have a conversation and an introduction. Feel free to shoot me a note, Janice, Janice, at thementormethod.com.
Great. Thank you so much and congratulations again.
Thank you.
Welcome back. And how awesome was that? Can we get a round of applause? I know you may be sitting in a room by yourself, but let's just clap and just say that was awesome. Okay. So I wanted to just say a couple more thank yous before we close out the day. So thank you to our Techstars global partners. Really appreciate everything that you do for us and for the companies. Thank you again to Brex for hosting both this as well as the after party. This next one is really important, so I'm going to slow down my speech pattern. Thank you to our families. We disappear for 3 months, and this is really, really hard on them too. Not just in these 3 months, but for the entire duration of building a company. So thank you to our families and to our close friends for being there, for supporting us, and know that we're working really, really hard to make you proud. Last thing is, for those of you who don't know, and for those of you who do, we will start our next program in August this summer. So if you know a great company or you are a great company, please reach out to us. We are accepting applications for about another month, and we'll make our decisions sometime in June for a program starting in late August, and we're really excited about that. And finally, for those of you local here in Austin, please join us at Whistler's to celebrate at 5 o'clock. Thank you so much. That's a wrap. We're out of here, and great job, everybody.